I don't know about you guys, but how many times have you ever questioned the decisions made by the Australian government? I mean, we don't have to look far. There was the reinstatement of knighthoods, not to mention the current invasion of our privacy with the new metadata laws. As a representative democracy, the decisions of our country are being made on our behalf. However, we can no longer blindly trust certain politicians to act as the representatives to our beliefs and desires. We, the Australian people, need to take control of our country. There are flaws in our current representative democracy. Decisions made on our behalf no longer represent our views and opinions. Decisions are no longer made for the good of the Australian people, but rather influenced by other interests. One notable example relates to the dietary guidelines that are set by the Australian Departments of Health and Ageing, which are apparently your best guide to food, nutrition and health. While Australia's Departments of Health explicitly recommends 2 to 3 servings of dairy each day, faculty members at the Harvard School of Public Health recommend only 1 serve a day at most. In fact, studies have shown that the consumption of dairy is not necessary and that excessive consumption can even be harmful to your health. The Australian Department of Health also recommends a diet consisting of 1/3 grains, instilling into the minds of people that whole grain cereals are excellent sources of B group vitamins and contain useful amounts of vitamin E, essential fatty acids and minerals. In fact, these nutrients are only there due to fortification, which is basically when the nutrients are artificially added. Harvard, on the other hand, recommends less than 1/4 of daily grain intake. And while Harvard's recommendations are backed by the most recent objective scientific research, what are Australia's backed by? Oh, that's right, a journal known as Cereal Foods World. Yep, clearly we can see that the Department of Health is not at all influenced by lobby groups and the prosperity of Australia's agricultural industry and exports, and only has our best interests in mind. There are also questionable decisions being made as we speak. Recently, with the support of both major parties, the Senate passed one of the greatest violations of our privacy, the retention of our metadata. This basically includes all personal data such as what websites we visit, what we're doing online, and who we're calling. The current Australian Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, believes that metadata retention is needed to prevent further terrorist attacks. This may seem reasonable until we look into this and realise that there are already numerous examples worldwide showing that metadata laws don't actually seem to have much of an effect, if any at all. Studies have shown the effectiveness of crime clearance in Germany at a whopping 0.006%, whereas France's metadata laws did nothing to prevent the Charlie Hebdo attacks. These new metadata laws will also cost $400 million, which will be coming from you. So basically, we're paying money so that authorities can spy on us and prevent terrorism in the effective ways demonstrated previously. These metadata laws are also one example of decisions made by the government which clearly do not reflect our own views and violate our fundamental rights as humans. Decisions made by the government are no longer in our best interests. However, we're being forced to accept the judgment of our government as our country is run under a representative democracy. This is something that we can change under a direct democracy, where we could directly oppose any bill under a referendum. There is one country in this world that has implemented direct democracy, Switzerland. Having maintained a direct democracy since 1921, Switzerland has since become a very successful country with low taxation, the world's 9th highest GDP per capita, and one of the world's best healthcare systems. One of Switzerland's recent referendums, started by a conservation group, sought to reduce immigration rates, which is clearly an unnecessary and discriminatory proposal. 77% of people rejected the proposal, showing how individuals are able to reject conservative views and have a voice in passing or rejecting bills. Another successful directly democratic system can be seen in something many of us have already used, the online encyclopedia, Wikipedia. Yes, there are some people who doubt its accuracy, maintaining that it can't be trusted because anyone can edit it. However, although anyone can have the potential to edit pages, edits are first discussed through talk pages before major edits are implemented. Through an open system like this where people can communicate, discuss and collaborate, Wikipedia is able to maintain a functioning and collaborative community. Similarly, a direct democracy in Australia could also result in a more stable country through allowing people to discuss legislation. After seeing how well direct democracy can work, you may ask, why haven't we already switched? The reason is that some people are still under misconceptions about direct democracy, such as physical limitations involved and the lack of citizen participation. In our modern age, we can overcome these restrictions. While the collection of votes may have been difficult in the past, votes can today be collected digitally under encryption technologies such as RSA and SSL, which are used by many banks to protect our data. Today, the internet facilitates the rapid sharing of ideas, as seen in Wikipedia, and allows many people to contribute to polls where previously many would simply not have had the time to physically attend voting sessions. It's also not necessary to be well versed in all economic, educational, military, scientific, and foreign policies. Due to the vast variety of referendum areas, the average person will always be able to participate. Social media could also evolve to become an extremely powerful medium to convey ideas, where inaccurate claims could directly be opposed, and ideas could be spread across large populations as opposed to the past, where power distribution and influence would favour the rich and powerful. A successful direct democracy has been the inspiration of societies for centuries. Our current government has evidently made numerous questionable decisions. If aspects of direct democracy can be implemented into our current democracy, we will become a more successful country. A country where the people have a voice. A country that minimises corruption. A country of true freedom. If we don't act, who else will? Together we can show the world a successful direct democracy, the way society should be run.